Impact Bound for Glory 2018 recap. Welcome back to the ACB Wrestling Talk channel, your main source for wrestling news, topics, discussion, previews, all that kind of good stuff. I am your host, Alexis Carrillo, and last night in New York City, Impact Wrestling delivered Bound for Glory, its biggest pay-per-view event of the year. And as far as social media reaction, as far as Impact Wrestling fans raving on social media, it appears that they delivered. Now, why do I say it appears that they delivered? Well, it's simple, and I'm going to be straightforward with you, and I'm going to be honest with you. I did not have the fundings to actually purchase and watch the pay-per-view. I could not watch Bound for Glory live last night. So, all I could do was, monitor Twitter and look for results right there. So, I'm just giving you a fair warning. I'm just gonna do a brief results recap, if you could call it that. I'm just gonna review what direction they went on each of their matches, and that's gonna be pretty much it for this recap. I'm not gonna talk a lot about the actual matches, because first of all, I can't really implement a lot of my wrestling knowledge on these matches because I haven't actually wrestled in a match. So, with all of that aside, let's get right into the results. First and foremost, we had Rich Swann and Willie Mack beat Matt Sydal and Ethan Page in the opening tag team contest. From what I've heard, or from what I've read on social media, this match was just damn entertaining. It was damn good. So, a positive right there. And as far as the result, as far as where they were going to, I have a feeling Willie Mack is going to at least be a part of the tapings tonight and tomorrow night in New York City. Otherwise, I really don't see why they would have Swann and Mack beat out Sydal and Page, who are actually contracted to Impact Wrestling. I'm not clear on Willie Mack's contractual situation with Impact, so we'll find out. We'll find that out later in the week, or in the month, or in the year. So, followed by that, we had Eli Drake. He had his open challenge, and out came James Ellsworth. And when I first read that on social media, I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised, kind of underwhelmed, a little bit disappointed, because like I said in the past videos, in the previews videos for this pay-per-view, I was kind of expecting somebody bigger, Y2J maybe. That didn't happen, but then again, I had to calm down my expectations, because Impact Wrestling never promoted this as a big deal. They never promoted this as a big surprise. So, Eli Drake gets a win at Bound for Glory. He beats James Ellsworth, and then he apparently gets on the mic and calls out for even better competition, and out comes recent, brand new Impact Hall of Famer, the Monster Abyss, who just plants him with a black hole slam. That's what I read. And which ends the entire segment. As far as the Monster Abyss beating out, quote-unquote, beating out Eli Drake, I have no problem with it. I don't think it hurts Eli Drake at all, because given the circumstances, Abyss is a Hall of Famer, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. It made sense to give him this feel-good moment, this Bound for Glory moment. It made sense, and Eli Drake can recover fairly easy from that, come out on Impact on this Thursday or the following week and say, I was not ready for a monster. I was expecting somebody different, and out came a monster. So, all of that aside, I'm content with everything that went down with this segment. A little bit disappointed Y2J did not show up, but again, that was never hyped up as a big surprise. Followed by that, we had Tessa Blanchard defeat Taya Valkyrie. Number one, this surprised me a lot, because if you listen to my video previews, I believed that Taya Valkyrie was going to be Knockouts champion at the end of Bound for Glory, and Johnny Impact was going to lose in the main event. The inverse happened. And it was at this moment that I thought, okay, if Taya Valkyrie is not coming out Knockouts champion, then Johnny Impact has to come out Impact World Champion. That's, you know, so that we could have that feel-good Bound for Glory moment at the end of the show. You need something like that at these types of shows, and that indeed happened. As far as the match, people are calling this match Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie match of the year. You know, some people are even going as far as calling it the best Knockouts match of all time. Unfortunately, I could not watch it, and I'm kind of disappointed because the hype for this match was and is real, apparently. As far as Tessa winning and beating out Taya Valkyrie, it confuses me a little bit because I really don't see too many knockouts on the roster other than a returning Rosemary that could challenge Tessa Blanchard. So, moving on, Eddie Edwards versus Moose. Now, I read this on social media as well. Eddie Edwards defeated Moose by disqualification. I was pissed. I was disappointed. I was a little bit angry because I don't like DQ finishes. I don't like countout finishes. Fast forward to a few minutes later, we had this whole no disqualification tag team match. Tommy Dreamer came out and they beat Killer Kross and Moose. Again, not happy with that, because on one side you have Tommy Dreamer, old guy, veteran, and on the other side you have two up and coming stars in Killer Kross and Moose, who needed the win to make that faction look strong, especially considering Austin Aries lost the Impact World Title at the end of the night. So, again, they made the entire faction look weak right there, having Eddie Edwards and a veteran in Tommy Dreamer beat them out in a no disqualification match, especially when Killer Kross is supposed to be this animal and this beast and this ruthless son of a gun, you know. So, moving on, OVE, this surprised me a lot. OVE beat Brian Cage, Phoenix, and Pentagon, 6-man action. OVE actually got the win, and we had Sami Callihan pin Brian Cage. He pinned the X Division champion. Thus, this will lead to a future X Division title shot for Sami Callihan, which I am completely okay with, because I've said this in the past, the X Division Championship should now be Impact's mid-card title. It should be the precursor to the Impact World title, to the main event. That's where I believe they are going, and I'm completely fine with that. And more on that topic, Brian Cage being pinned for the first time, it kind of eliminates the fact that of his streak. They kind of did that on the road to Slammiversary when he lost to Matt Sydal via disqualification, so they're not really, so Impact Creative is not really caring a lot about Brian Cage's streak, more so than the actual title, more so than the actual program or story they are trying to tell. So we'll just have to wait and see what goes on right there. We had LAX and Conan versus the OGs and King. Now, as far as I know, King took out Conan early in the night, and I'm not sure if Conan was a part of this match at all, but LAX got the clean sweep. They beat the OGs, and now they can move on into a better tag team feud, hopefully. And nothing against the OGs, but I just want them to go away because I want the tag team titles to be featured more. And in this blood feud, in this blood war, the tag team titles were pretty much an afterthought. Just pointing it out. We had Ali going to the Undead realm to fight off Su Yung. Now, we said in the preview videos This could have been a match on the actual show. This could have been a pre-taped segment. And it appears it was a pre-taped segment. And we had the return of Rosemary, thus bringing this whole story full circle and transitioning into Rosemary versus Su Yung rivalry. Excited about that. Hopefully we get that match at Homecoming on January 6th from Nashville, Tennessee in the Asylum. And I gotta point this out as well. When they first announced that via Twitter, when I first saw that via Twitter, I was like, ugh, Homecoming, they're going back to Orlando, Florida. I was a little bit, disappointed, unhappy with it. And then I read Nashville, Tennessee, the Asylum, and then I got excited. I was like, yeah, keep this product away as far away as possible from the Impact Zone. Nothing good can come out from ever going back to the Impact Zone. So, with that in mind, we get to the main event, where Johnny Impact beat Austin Aries to become the brand new Impact World Champion. Now, like I said, like I've been repeating throughout this whole video, I did not watch the match or the pay-per-view. I did not have the resources at hand to purchase the event. What I did find out on social media and on Twitter was that Austin Aries completely no-sold Starship Pain at the end of the match to, flip off somebody at commentary, maybe Don Callis, that's the speculation, and then he flipped off the crowd, and then he left. To which I say, I have a feeling this is a work. I hope this is a work, because I find it very disrespectful that on the biggest pay-per-view event of the year, Austin Aries would be so pissed that he was booked to lose that he would take away from Johnny Impact's moment and take away from Impact's big night, only to make it about himself. So I hope it's a work. Number two, this whole controversy about whether he no-sold the event, whether it's a work or whether it's, a bit, or whether it was a scripted segment. This whole idea, one thing coming out of this is that people are talking about the event. They are talking about how good Bound for Glory was, and they are talking about this entire controversial situation. So that's a real good positive to look forward to. Again, if it's not a work, and it was Austin Aries just being pissed at the creative decisions they were making with having Johnny Impact walk out world champion, then I have issues with that, and I hope Aries gets at least suspended, because you just can't do that. Again, I don't believe that. I believe it's a work. We'll find out this Thursday night. Hopefully we'll find out this Thursday night on Impact, on Pop. So make sure you tune into Impact Wrestling on Pop TV for all the fallout from Bound for Glory. So that was the Bound for Glory 2018 pay-per-view. It was really quite a shame, at least for me, that I couldn't purchase it, that I couldn't watch it live, that I couldn't watch it at all. So that's a shame right there, especially being the big Impact Wrestling fan that I am. But yeah, give me your thoughts. What did you think about the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view? What did you think about all the decisions that they made in terms of creative booking, in terms of where their titles went? What did you think of this whole Austin Aries situation with Johnny Impact? Do you think it's a work? Do you think it's scripted? Leave your thoughts and comments on the comments section below. If you follow wrestling news, topics, discussion, previews, all that kind of good stuff, consider subscribing. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. That's it for me. Till next time.